What's up, y'all? Pastor Dallas here with today's Real Talk from the Heart. Today's Real Talk comes from the book of First Kings, chapter 3 and verse 9. And I want to read this morning from the Legacy Standard Bible. It says, "So give your slave a listening heart, to judge your people, to discern between good and evil. For who is able to judge this glorious people of yours?" Backdrop, of course, is Yahweh, the Lord, appearing to Solomon in a dream and asking Solomon that question, right? Ask whatever you shall want. Ask whatever you shall desire. And this is Solomon's response. His response is not for a long life, not for the life of his enemies, not for riches. And of course, we know that God gives him wisdom beyond any man, riches beyond any man. But this right here this morning, as I was reading through my chapters this morning, I found myself coming back to this particular passage, and it just resonated with my heart this morning. This request of give your slave, right? Another translation says give your servant a listening heart. And I began to just think that through, man. Why is it important, man? Why is it important to have a listening heart? Well, it's right there in the way that Solomon addresses himself. He says, "I am your servant," right? Or as the Legacy uses, "I am your slave." It's important to have a listening heart, first and foremost, because we are his servants. We are his servants, and a good servant will listen. Man, will listen to his master. A servant who isn't listening to his master isn't living out his master's will, living out his own will. And so he says here, give me a listening heart. Another translation says, give me an understanding heart. And I want to just talk about that. Listening comes before understanding. I have to have a listening heart before I will have an understanding heart. Now, an understanding heart will lead to a discerning heart, because understanding leads to discernment, right? When you understand the will of God, then you're going to be able to discern life through the word of God. And that's what actually he says here, to discern between good and evil. When you look at the book of Hebrews chapter 5 verse 12, it talks about, man, before you used to be a child, but now you're an adult, and your ability to discern between good and evil comes with the fact that you've learned the word, and by now you should be a teacher, right? Exercising, he uses that phrase there. Again, in Hebrews 5:12, I would encourage you to look that verse up. But it all begins, man, with having a listening heart. If you'll remember that when Jesus took Peter, James, and John up to the Mount of Transfiguration, and the Father spoke from heaven, the Lord gave the command to the apostles, man, Peter, James, and John. He says, "This is my beloved Son." And then he said this, "Be listening to him. Be hearing him." Oh, beloved, the importance of having a listening heart. And my prayer this morning was, Lord, help me be a better listener. Help me be a better listener, Lord. Sometimes I find myself just with this kind of like scatterbrained mind, and I can be a place with somebody talking to me, and my mind's off somewhere else. And sometimes I really struggle to be a good listener. First and foremost, a good listener to him, but then also to the people around me, man, to give him my undivided attention, to give people my undivided attention. And man, my prayer this morning was, Lord, help me to be a better listener. Help me to be quick to hear and slow to speak. A better listener is a better learner. You can't learn anything if you're just yapping all the time, right? It takes a quiet heart, man, to learn something. And so, man, the Lord just really spoke that to my heart, man. Be a better listener, and you'll be a better learner, right? You'll understand better, and you will discern life better. And so I want to encourage you with that this morning, man. Lord, help us. And let that be our prayer this morning. Lord, help me to be a better listener. Give your servant a listening heart. Because if I have a listening heart, I'm going to have a learning heart. I'm going to have an understanding heart. I'm going to have a discerning heart. But Lord, help me to pay better attention. Help me to pay better attention, Lord. Man, this just really spoke to my heart. King Solomon would ask for this. And again, he didn't ask for riches. He didn't ask for a long life. He didn't ask for the life of his enemies. He's like, Lord, give me a listening heart. Give me a listening heart so I can understand, so I can discern between good and evil. Because, Lord, who's able? And like how he uses that word, who is able to govern these glorious people of yours? Our ability comes from the Lord. But before we can lay hold of that ability, man, we've got to have the availability to listen so that we can learn and so that we can understand and discern. Man, I hope this speaks to your heart, man. Definitely spoke to my heart this morning. My prayer, man, Lord, give me a listening heart. I want to be a better listener. Thank you for tapping in today. Lord loves you. I love you too, man. Praying for you. Please be praying for me as well. Let's be praying for each other that we'll be better listeners. Hope you have a great weekend. Hope you'll tap in with me again on Monday morning, man. God bless you.